Imagine you're leading your tribe across a rocky hillside 40,000 years ago. The hunt has lasted since sunrise. Everyone is exhausted. Your children are waiting for food back at the cave. Suddenly, a crushing pain spreads across your chest. You stop walking. Your breathing becomes shallow. Your spear slips from your hand. The other hunters rush toward you. One supports your shoulder. Another offers water. An older member of the tribe tells everyone to stop moving. They believe your spirit has become weak. No one realizes that deep inside your chest, one tiny blood vessel may have just become blocked. Today, you would call it a heart attack. An ambulance would arrive. Doctors would connect you to machines. Within hours, they might save your life. 40,000 years ago, there was only your tribe, and whatever happened next. Most people believe heart attacks are a disease of modern life. We blame fast food, smoking, stress, office jobs, processed sugar. Ancient humans had none of those things. They walked nearly every day. They climbed cliffs. They crossed rivers. They chased animals for hours. Their food came from wild plants, fruits, roots, fish, and lean meat. By every modern standard, they should have had incredibly healthy hearts. But one archaeological discovery completely shattered that belief. When scientists began scanning ancient human remains using modern CT technology, they found something almost impossible to explain. Some ancient people already had hardened arteries, the same disease that kills millions of people today. How could that be? How could someone who had never eaten a hamburger, never smoked a cigarette, never spent a single day sitting in an office, still develop the same deadly condition? The answer changes far more than our understanding of history. It changes how you understand your own body. But before we can answer that question, we need to go back into the prehistoric world. Imagine the pain never goes away. Your tribe abandons the hunt. Two hunters help you walk. Every step becomes slower than the last. The cave is still several kilometers away. There are no medicines, no hospitals, no surgeons. Only people who have spent their entire lives learning from nature. When you finally reach the camp, everyone notices something is wrong. The children stop playing. The fire is already burning. An elderly woman quietly places warm animal hides around your shoulders. Another crushes bitter leaves into a paste. The tribe's healer kneels beside you. He listens to your breathing, feels your forehead, looks into your eyes. He has treated broken bones, deep cuts, animal bites, snake venom. But this illness is different. There is no wound, no bleeding, no broken limb, only pain that no one can see. For thousands of years, illnesses like this were often explained through spirits, bad luck, exhaustion, or unseen forces because the human heart remained completely invisible. No one knew that tiny arteries carried blood to the heart itself. No one could imagine that one of them might suddenly become blocked. Yet something remarkable happened. Many prehistoric people did not simply leave sick tribe members behind. Archaeologists have discovered ancient skeletons showing severe injuries that healed over many months or even years. Some individuals survived broken legs. Others survived crushed hips. Some even lived despite disabilities that made hunting almost impossible. One famous example comes from Shanidar I, a Neanderthal discovered in northern Iraq. He lived with serious injuries, including the loss of part of an arm and other disabilities, yet survived for many years. That would have been almost impossible without help from others. It suggests that prehistoric people cared for the sick far more than we once believed. But caring for someone with a hidden disease inside the heart was an entirely different challenge, because no amount of herbs, no amount of rest, and no amount of experience could remove a blockage that no one even knew existed. And that is where this story becomes even more surprising. The first real clue did not come from prehistoric caves. It came from ancient Egypt. In 2009, cardiologist Dr. Gregory Thomas and Egyptologist Dr. Zahi Hawass launched what became known as the Horus Study. Their goal was simple: use modern CT scanners to learn more about diseases hidden inside ancient mummies. They expected to find worn joints, old fractures, perhaps signs of infection. Instead, the scanners revealed something almost nobody expected: bright white lines inside the arteries, calcium. the unmistakable fingerprint of advanced atherosclerosis, the same disease doctors diagnose every day in modern hospitals. Some of these people had lived more than 3,000 years ago, long before fast food, long before cigarettes, long before modern cities. At first, many researchers believed Egypt must be a special case. Perhaps wealthy nobles simply ate too much rich food. Perhaps their lives were unusually comfortable. It sounded like a reasonable explanation. But science rarely stops at the first answer. Soon, researchers began looking elsewhere. They examined ancient remains from Peru, from the Aleutian Islands, from ancestral Pueblo communities in North America. These people had almost nothing in common. Some survived on fish and marine mammals. Others depended on maize, beans, and wild plants. Some lived in frozen coastal environments. Others survived in dry deserts. Different climates, different cultures, different lifestyles. Yet the same disease kept appearing. In 2013, the Horus Study published one of its most important discoveries. Researchers examined 137 mummies from 4 ancient populations. Nearly 34% showed evidence of atherosclerosis. Some had hardened coronary arteries. Others had disease in the arteries of the neck, the legs, or the abdomen. The pattern looked surprisingly familiar to modern cardiologists. Suddenly, the question changed. Scientists were no longer asking, did ancient humans develop artery disease? Now they were asking, why did it happen almost everywhere? Imagine what this meant for a prehistoric hunter. He spends his entire life moving. He climbs mountains, crosses rivers, sleeps under the stars. He never tastes processed sugar, never eats factory-made food, never spends hours sitting still. Yet somewhere inside his body, his arteries may already be changing. He cannot feel it. His tribe cannot see it. Years pass. He continues hunting, continues protecting his family, continues carrying children across dangerous rivers. Then one day, during a hunt, the pain finally arrives. The tribe believes he has become exhausted. The healer burns herbs beside him. Someone rubs animal fat across his chest. Another quietly whispers prayers to the spirits. Everything they know about healing comes from experience. Broken bones, deep cuts, snake bites, poison, fever. But this illness leaves no visible mark. It attacks silently. That silence may have made heart disease one of the most mysterious conditions prehistoric people ever faced. But if ancient diets were so different, and ancient lifestyles were so active, then what was damaging their arteries? The answer wasn't hidden in their food alone. It was hidden inside something every human shares. No matter where they live, or when they lived, the answer begins with one simple idea. Your body was never designed to live forever. Even in perfect conditions, every heartbeat places tiny amounts of stress on your arteries. Over decades, your immune system constantly repairs small areas of damage. Most of the time, those repairs keep you alive. But sometimes, the repair process itself becomes the problem. Scientists now believe that atherosclerosis is partly an inflammatory disease. Inflammation is your body's natural defense system. When you cut your skin, fight an infection, or break a bone, inflammation helps you heal. But humans living 40,000 years ago faced inflammation almost every day. Imagine waking before sunrise. The air is freezing. Yesterday's hunt left cuts across your hands. Smoke from the campfire fills the cave. You drink untreated river water. Parasites live inside your food. Tiny infections never completely disappear. Every hunt leaves new injuries. Every winter weakens your body. Your immune system is constantly working. Modern researchers now think that this lifelong cycle of infection, injury, and inflammation may have slowly damaged ancient arteries over many years. In other words, the very system that helped prehistoric humans survive may also have increased their risk of artery disease. But there was another piece of the puzzle: genetics. In 1991, hikers discovered a frozen body high in the Alps. He became known as Otzi the Iceman. He had died around 5,300 years ago. Because his body remained frozen, scientists could study him in extraordinary detail. When researchers analyzed his DNA, thousands of years later, they found something remarkable. Otzi carried genetic variants that are still linked to an increased risk of cardiovascular disease today. His lifestyle was nothing like ours. He climbed mountains, walked enormous distances, ate natural foods, yet part of his risk had been written into his genes long before he was born. That discovery changed the conversation once again. Heart disease was not simply the result of modern living. Some of its roots stretched deep into human evolution. Then researchers noticed another surprising pattern. Most ancient people never lived long enough to experience the severe heart disease that is common today. Life was dangerous. Predators, starvation, infections, childbirth, accidents. Many people died in their 30s or 40s. Those who reached old age were relatively rare. That means the ancient individuals showing advanced artery disease were often among the oldest members of their communities. The elders, the storytellers, the experienced hunters, the people who remembered rivers, animal migrations, safe caves, and dangerous seasons. Imagine an elderly hunter sitting quietly beside the evening fire. His hunting days are nearly over. Children gather around him to hear stories of mammoths and distant valleys. He has survived freezing winters, deadly predators, countless injuries, and decades of hardship. Yet inside his chest, his heart has been fighting a silent battle for years. Neither he, nor anyone around him, knows why he becomes tired more easily, why climbing hills now feels harder, why the pain sometimes appears without warning. His tribe cannot see the narrowing arteries hidden deep inside his body. But thousands of years later, a CT scanner can. Today, every scan of an ancient mummy, every prehistoric skeleton, and every new archaeological discovery reminds us of something unexpected. The greatest threats to human life were not always visible. Some hunted us from the outside. Others had been growing quietly inside us all along. A heart attack is not just a modern disease. It is part of a much older human story, a story written across thousands of generations, carried through evolution, hidden inside ancient bones, and still beating inside your own chest today.